I think it's about time we had a little talk. So this video, first and foremost, is going to be going up on the TNC Hysterical podcast, as well as my personal channel. Why, you might be asking? Well, I'm going to go ahead and explain what happened over the last month and a half to 2 months, to the point where content has been there and then gone and then back again all of a sudden, which is super strange. But there's a reason for it, and I'll go ahead and go into the details about why I got into the details. Ugh. I will get into the details about why and explain to you guys why on my personal channel especially I've been absent. I am currently back. This video is going on that channel as well. So for those people who are like, where the fuck have you been? For, the 3 of you, appreciate you. Awesome. Yeah, no, there's a reason. So let me go ahead and first and foremost start off by saying a month and a half ago, we were uploading videos pretty concisely. There wasn't any bullshit. It was just kind of Overwatch and shit like that. And I know we were throwing videos up here and there. However, our podcast, the TNC Hysterical Podcast, please go check out the podcast if you have no idea who I are, because this is my friend Caden and we're hilarious. We also have pretty funny videos, so please go and check that out. Yeah, the TNC Hysterical Podcast is a video podcast that we like to upload weekly. We also have a subgenre, which is called The Overclock Life, which we do random stunts and computer stuff, basically taking our life and overclocking it to the max. Funny pun, right? Not really. But either way, we make good content, and we try to make it so that way that content is very, 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 very enjoyable for us to make, so that way it's enjoyable for you guys to watch. Now, I know that it's kind of one of those convoluted things that's like, really though, can you make that work? Like, why do we care about stuff? Well, that's why we're reaching out to the viewers, because we're kind of stingy and we don't really give a fuck, and we like to make whatever videos we want. My personal YouTube channel is Let's Plays. Now, the one reason that I'm coming on and making this video now, even though I probably shouldn't just yet, is because Diablo playthroughs are going to be coming to my channel very, very soon. I mean, like next week soon. And so, with that being said, you guys are going to see basically daily, every other day type of Diablo streams happening frequently. I'm going to be pushing those through. We're going to be making those work. It's going to be super fun. We already have a gang of people that's ready to do it, so it's going to be something worth watching. Diablo comes out on the 6th, which is Monday. So starting Monday, videos will be being recorded. I don't know when you'll see the videos, but it will be up as soon as possible, so that way you guys won't have to wait for that. So, along with the TNC Hysterical Podcast, what happened there? Well, the truth of the matter is the TNC Hysterical Podcast is we do upload, but the podcast is excruciatingly time-consuming to make when me and Caden both have full-time jobs, and that's not really an excuse. It's just when you work for 10 hours, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, Caden is technically working 6 some weeks, you kind of get a little bit of like, I'm gonna die if I continue going any longer, because the editing process and the recording process itself takes about 5 hours. Yeah. You can see how that becomes difficult. And no matter how you do it, the 2 hours of recording is something you have to do in that 2 hours. So we automatically have to assign 2 hours of our days when we have either off or when we're getting off of work to record a podcast, which if we're not energized and bringing you a good show, what is the fucking point? There isn't one, because we're trying to be entertaining for you guys. So if we're just tired and complaining about everything the whole time, it's not worth it. We don't want to do that shit. So Overclock Life, however, are more of our more bite-sized shows. They're 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes longer, depending on how we want to do it. We did do a mega episode where it was a span of a whole day to record it, but it was super fun. We covered a lot of topics that we'd like to talk about. That was great. But Overclock Life is going to take priority. Caden actually approached me about this, and he wants to get episodes of Overclock Life up pretty much weekly to every other day, I think is what he said. I'm pretty sure. He was saying frequently. He wants Overclock Life to go up like regularly, which is fine, because honestly, we can cover videos like that very easily. Because if you take the math, 20 minutes divided into 2 hours, it's quite a long time, as compared to the fact that 2 hours in podcast time is one podcast. 6 episodes, 1 podcast. You see the point. So what he wants to do is he wants to make the podcast every other week. I would normally disagree with him because I know that we can. However, Caden is lucky enough, if you guys do not watch the podcast, to land a house, which is super good for him, but super bad for us because we now are down a member of the team because he has to go and do yard work and do all kinds of shit to make his new house livable, which is great in the long term because when Caden moves into his house, he's going to have more time and we're going to be able to actually record and do shit that we need to get done because we do Discord calls, we do stuff all the time where we do the podcast as much as we physically possibly can. But the truth of the matter is that at the end of the day, there's no stopping the progress of humanity, and he basically has to, reassess a new house and move into it and then do that whole thing. So yeah, we're gonna basically be losing a lot of Caden's attention for a long time. So the podcast is going to have to slide into every 2 weeks. Another reason why the podcast is going to have to slide into every 2 weeks is because of the fact that Caden went to Germany and we lost a lot of time with that. We lost about 2 weeks in relative time, but when it comes to just personal lives, we lost about a month. And it was crazy when we looked at it because we're like, whoa, we had enough episodes to cover that month. But in that month, we didn't do shit. Which is the reason why it's such a problem now, because we are facing the consequences of those actions, because now we don't have nothing. And it's not for a lack of trying, because, and like I said, I'm discussing the TNC Hysterical just primarily right now. We recorded videos for you guys, and I had a queue of 7 videos. We lost 5 of them because for some reason, one of our microphones decided to break. And what I mean by break is, I don't know what the fuck happened to it, but about 20 minutes in, you started to sound like Godzilla was trying to talk under the weight of flubber. And that is just the honest truth of how it is. If you could imagine that, it basically sounded like someone swallowed the microphone and was trying to tell someone about a biography on history. It was unintelligible. It was incredibly boring. So we actually had to scrap over 12 hours of content just straight out the window to the trash. Do you think I'm happy about that? Absolutely not. But what can you do about it when it comes to stuff like that? You can't. You can't. You basically just roll with it, and the best thing that you could do is press on, which is exactly what we've been doing, is pressing on. But when you lose 12 hours of content, when we try to break up even just 2 hours to record a podcast, that is a huge hit to us. And I'm not talking just the podcast, that affected Overclock Life too. Now, I'm not saying that there's nothing in the pipeline, because we realized this issue at the pristine time in order to get an episode up this last weekend. But this weekend in particular, this is the video that is going up for the TNC Hysterical podcast, because we have nothing. And we are going to try to make new videos as I'm recording this, the following week. We're going to try, and I'm sick of this cable. I'm sorry, it's just driving me crazy. I've been meaning to fix it for days, but I will get into the reason why I haven't done that in just a minute. But we don't have anything in the pipeline for TNC Hysterical podcast because shit decided to break when we didn't need it to. Now that that is out of the way, the reason why I've been absent from my own channel is basically going to contribute to both things, but it's going to be a longer story. So a month and a half ago, I decided to start putting Overwatch clips up on my channel, or full Let's Plays, as well as streaming. I was totally fine with it. I was kind of happy with the stream, actually, because there was a way that I can make it work, and it was perfect. It was flawless. I actually was thrilled about that in the meantime, because realistically, I play Overwatch all the time. Why not record my gameplay? I played a whole demo on my channel as well, Bramble the Mountain King. Kind of boring, but it was entertaining to say the least. I haven't actually started the main game. I have it. I want to play the whole thing. It might be a little outdated by the time I get there, but it doesn't matter, because regardless of the fact, Diablo is coming. So what happened in that month and a half? Well, the first thing is, yes, Caden definitely was dealing with stuff regarding the house, and that constructed his time to be limited, which I play Overwatch, but I don't really play it by myself, because I am a single player type of gamer. I don't like to play multiplayer games that much, but I will with friends because I find enjoyment out of doing something with other people in that regard. Yes, definitely an anti-socialist, and I am definitely also introverted beyond all belief, but that's the first quarter of this. So fast forward 2 weeks, and my family basically comes down, has a get-together, and then something which I definitely will not dox my family for this, which isn't really doxing, but I'm kind of shitting on them because it is the honest truth about what happened. Something happened with my cousin that invited me to pay a shit ton of money and basically go through the whole rigmarole of getting my truck back from being out of my possession unwillingly. Yeah. So that is a, needless to say, fucked up situation that takes a lot of time to deal with and was a mental weight on me that took a lot of time to get done with. So past that, takes about a week and a half. I recover. I'm already at work. I'm good mentally now. So we're going to go back into recording, which the TNC Hysterical Podcast episode that you see up on the screen currently right now is the most recent video, was immediately after this altercation that is about to happen. We recorded an episode of the TNC Hysterical Podcast, which unironically was one of the first episodes that we caught that had the issue with our microphone, which then we went back and checked all of the footage that we had to realize that we sounded like we were, basically talking in farts, which is not good. No one wants to see that if you can't say anything. So we had to scrap all of that. I already said that, but I'm just telling you how we even noticed in the first place. After we discovered it, we needed to go out to celebrate because it's finally summertime and we wanted to go outside and have sunlight and fun. I skateboard. I have a lot of fun with skateboarding because I like to go out and just cruise, drink a little bit of water, make sure you stay hydrated and stuff because it gets hot out there. And we basically were just cruising around town. No big deal. Totally fine. So later on in the day, unironically, about 5 blocks from the hospital that we have here, which, yeah, in case you can't tell, I'm bringing this up for a solid reason. 5 blocks from the hospital, I don't know what happened, but my skateboard decided to catch a rock and my head decided to catch the concrete. Completely bounced off of the concrete so hard that I was sitting up after I had bounced. Do I remember this incident? Yes, I do. Did I have a concussion afterwards? No, but did I split my head open and feel like I was hit by approximately 15 trains simultaneously? Yeah, I was. And then, as if it was any worse, we also now, with my head profusely bleeding, had to walk 5 blocks to the hospital. Now, thankfully, Caden was with me. He made sure to take care of me, check, see if I could even walk, if I was going to throw up. He was really good about that. That is the reason why I started the podcast with this guy. He is one of my best friends, and I love the guy to death. I would never shit on anything that he does because realistically we're all human and I never judge him for anything that we do as much shit as we talk on the podcast. The truth of the matter is I've got that guy's back as much as he had mine that day. So basically today was the day I got the fucking staples taken out of my head. I have been lethargic and tired and feel like shit. And I've also been sleeping not enough because when you hurt your head, it tends to give you bad anxiety because your head lays on a pillow. And where the injury was on the back of my head, yeah, your body doesn't know how to calm down. So, basically saying it like this, a lot of shit went down over the last month and a half, and that's the reason why I haven't been here. And that's the reason why the TNC has been put on the back burner. Because obviously, the other thing is, can't really record a podcast if you can't think. Because believe me, even though I did not have a concussion, I was Kevin. And for those of you who are, under the age of, 22, that is Kevin Spacey. Do the math, dad joke. I know, not that funny, but I was very spacey. I was not really present of things talking about, and I would babble a little bit. And I know that sounds like the issues of a concussion, but realistically what had happened was because of the way that my head hit from my neck down, I was so just injured and traumatized that the pain would just override my brain. Like, I'm not even technically cleared to go back to work, and I went back to work this week because we have bills to pay, but on top of that, I can't wait for, things to just automatically fall into place. And moving around instead of just laying down all day definitely helps. So I am technically pushing through it, but I am at a point right now where I feel that I am competently better, and all the shit that's happened over the last month and a half is cleared, and Caden is about to just move into his new house. And so realistically, that's what's been going on the last 2 months. And for the TNC Hysterical viewers, I just want you guys to know we do love you. We mean it. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Cheers to you, because overall, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. We say that all the time, I know, but we mean it. We work hard because we want to give you entertainment, and that's the reason we can't half-ass it. But over the next 2 months, TNC will go back to its weekly schedule, but you guys will be getting more Overclock Life, profusely amounts of Overclock Life, because they're easy and they're fun to do. The podcast takes time, dedication, whatever we want to make it good. But yeah, we can't run it into the ground. As for my channel, videos and streams will be returning completely on schedule, almost daily, starting when Diablo 4 releases. So if you would like to join me and the group for Diablo 4, please come in on June the 6th at about 4 p.m. Pacific time, because that is when we will be playing, and we'll be playing until about, 11. I think I might stream it depending on how it is, and then after that, the VODs will go up, because I try to save the VODs regardless. And so if you guys want to join us for that, that'll be some fun things, and then maybe in the meantime, we'll break the habit. For anybody who is playing Tears of the Kingdom, I have already beaten it. I had plans to play it, but because of the things that had transpired, I wound up getting injured a couple days after Tears of the Kingdom came out. So during my recovery time, I played Tears of the Kingdom through. I should have streamed it or recorded it because it was super fun and enjoyable. But yeah, I've already destroyed the game 6 days to Sunday, and I'm basically almost done with the thing. I'm almost ready to just put it on the shelf and say, okay, I've had my fun with it. I am done with it. So that is a loss on my part, because that would have made a good series, but Diablo 4 is going to be one of the best series that we've ever put out, because this is a tactical game that everybody in the group can take part in. Caden, Matt, the newcomer, he's actually really smart and technical about stuff. And then after that, we are going to be taking it to just Overwatch and any other things that we could possibly think of in the meantime. There are many multiplayer games that are coming out this year that we are going to put to the forefront of what's going to happen from here on out. And TNC Hysterical is not going anywhere. My channel is not going anywhere, because like I said, amidst all the shit that's going on, I want this to continue. So yes, I'm probably going to be going live as soon as I get off of work at 4 p.m. Pacific time with Diablo 4, me and Matt, hopefully. I'm saying June 6th because that's the release date. If it is June 6th at 9 p.m., I'm really sorry, but we'll be there. And as far as the TNC Hysterical podcast, you never know what's going to happen, because we might find a way to make something pop up. But if you guys have to wait 2 weeks for the next episode, we apologize. There's just a lot of shit going on. But once it is resolved, the timestamp will inevitably become the regular for what we're trying to do. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate your time. I hope that this wasn't too long for you. I just wanted to explain what's going on. And if any of you are asking, yes, I am okay. I'm feeling so much better than I was. I'm tired, but I'm all right. And with that being said, as far as my TNC Hysterical viewers, I love you guys so very much. And we're not going to stop this train anytime. We're just slowing it down so we can catch our bearings. For our Overclock Life viewers, you guys are being treated the best because you're getting more content. And for my personal channel viewers, you guys better be ready for Diablo starting June 6th, because baby, we ain't stopping for nothing. I'm telling you that right now. We are going. We are hitting that train, and I am streaming it as long as I can every single day. So until then, peace out.